The U-boat. The U-boat was Germany's lethal submarine weapon that brought unseen terror to the seas. First deployed during World War I and perfected in World War II, U-boats could lurk silently beneath the ocean, striking without warning. Armed with torpedoes, they targeted merchant convoys and warships, aiming to cut off vital supplies. Entire fleets lived in fear of these underwater predators, as a single successful strike could sink massive vessels in minutes. The Wolfpack tactic, where groups of U-boats coordinated attacks, proved devastating in the Battle of the Atlantic. What made them especially deadly was their invisibility. Most victims never saw them until it was too late. Detection technology lagged behind their stealth, giving U-boats years of dominance. Their role in both world wars showed how control of the seas no longer depended only on battleships above the waves, but on unseen hunters below them. The Gatling gun. The Gatling gun was one of the first rapid-fire weapons, forever changing the face of modern warfare. Invented in 1861 by Richard Gatling during the American Civil War, it used a hand-crank system to rotate multiple barrels, firing hundreds of rounds per minute. At a time when most soldiers still relied on single-shot rifles, this weapon delivered overwhelming firepower that no army could ignore. The Gatling gun could mow down charging infantry or cavalry before they had a chance to close in, making traditional battlefield tactics obsolete. Though it required a crew to operate and was heavy to transport, its psychological effect was immense. Soldiers described its roar as thunderous and unstoppable, striking fear into anyone advancing against it. The Gatling gun laid the foundation for all machine guns that followed, transforming how wars were fought and marking the end of an older, slower era of combat. The atomic bomb. The atomic bomb was the first weapon to harness the power of the atom, unleashing destruction on a scale never before imagined. Developed under the Manhattan Project during World War II, it combined cutting-edge physics with massive industrial effort. In 1945, 2 bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, instantly leveling cities and causing unprecedented casualties. The weapon's power came not only from its blast, but from radiation, which left long-lasting effects for generations. Unlike previous inventions, the atomic bomb was not just a military tool. It became a symbol of humanity's ability to annihilate itself. Its existence changed global politics, sparking the nuclear arms race and the doctrine of mutually assured destruction. Scientists and historians still debate the morality of its use, but its impact is undeniable. The atomic bomb marked the moment when warfare crossed into an era of apocalyptic potential. The trebuchet. The trebuchet was a massive medieval siege weapon capable of hurling stones the size of cars across great distances. Emerging in the 12th century, the trebuchet used counterweights to launch projectiles with astonishing force. Castles that once seemed impenetrable could suddenly be reduced to rubble as enormous stones shattered their walls. Historical records describe some trebuchets flinging boulders weighing over 200 pounds more than 300 yards. They could also launch firepots, diseased carcasses, or even beehives to spread chaos inside enemy defenses. The engineering was remarkably advanced for its time, combining mathematics, woodcraft, and precise balancing. Unlike earlier catapults, the trebuchet's counterweight system allowed repeated, devastating shots with great accuracy. Though simple in concept, its power reshaped medieval warfare, forcing rulers to redesign their fortifications. The trebuchet was more than a machine. It was a symbol of destructive innovation that turned sieges into a terrifying science of endurance. The English longbow. The English longbow was a deceptively simple weapon that reshaped medieval battlefields through sheer power and range. Standing as tall as its wielder, the longbow was crafted from yew wood and required years of training to master. English archers could release up to 12 arrows a minute, each capable of piercing armor at distances over 250 yards. At battles such as Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt, waves of arrows darkened the sky, devastating heavily armored knights who once dominated warfare. The longbow's strength came not only from its design, but also from the physical conditioning of the archers, whose skeletons show enlarged bones from a lifetime of practice. It was both elegant and terrifying, a silent storm that could decide the fate of kingdoms. Despite its effectiveness, the longbow eventually faded with the rise of gunpowder, leaving behind a legacy as one of history's deadliest yet most disciplined weapons. The tank. The tank was a revolutionary weapon that combined armor, firepower, and mobility into a single unstoppable force. First introduced by the British in 1916 during World War I, tanks were designed to break the stalemate of trench warfare. Protected by heavy steel plating and armed with cannons and machine guns, they could roll over barbed wire, crush obstacles, and provide cover for advancing troops. Early tanks were slow and unreliable, often breaking down in the mud, but their psychological effect was enormous. Soldiers described them as mechanical monsters, immune to rifle fire and nearly impossible to stop. By World War II, tanks had become faster, more powerful, and central to blitzkrieg strategies that reshaped the battlefield. Their combination of speed and destruction made them symbols of modern mechanized war. Even today, the tank remains a dominant weapon, constantly evolving with advanced armor and targeting systems to maintain its feared reputation. Greek fire. Greek fire was a mysterious incendiary weapon used by the Byzantine Empire, feared for its unstoppable burning power. This weapon first appeared in the 7th century CE, when Byzantine ships unleashed a liquid fire that clung to water, wood, and even human flesh. Its exact chemical formula was a closely guarded state secret, known only to a few imperial engineers. Ancient accounts claim it could not be extinguished with water. Only sand, vinegar, or special mixtures could stop it. The Byzantines used it to defend Constantinople against Arab sieges, changing the course of naval warfare for centuries. What makes Greek fire so mysterious is that its recipe has been completely lost to time. Modern historians and chemists can only speculate whether it was based on petroleum, quicklime, or another volatile mix. Its secrecy and effectiveness made it one of the deadliest and most enigmatic weapons in history. The Maxim gun. The Maxim gun was the first fully automatic machine gun, unleashing a new era of industrialized killing. Created by Hiram Maxim in 1884, it used the energy of each fired shot to automatically reload and continue firing. This innovation allowed a single soldier to deliver firepower equal to dozens of riflemen. Colonial powers quickly adopted the weapon, using it to devastating effect in battles where traditional armies stood no chance against its relentless hail of bullets. The Maxim could fire up to 600 rounds per minute, transforming warfare into a mechanized slaughter that few had ever witnessed before. Its presence on the battlefield forced new tactics. Trenches, barbed wire, and mass artillery became necessary just to survive its onslaught. The Maxim gun symbolized the grim reality of modern war, technology advancing faster than strategies to contain it. Its impact was so profound that it set the stage for the catastrophic battles of the First World War.